The Cache Valley Media Group's countdown of the top 25 Aggie football players for 2023. At number 16, a guy who has played more and more for the Aggies his years here. We're talking about tight end Josh Sterzer. Josh is a 6'3", 235-pound senior with still another year of eligibility left. 3-year letterman out of Taylorsville and Salt Lake City. Number 16 on our list, tight end Josh Sterzer.
Yeah, this is a guy who increasingly gets more playing time and a larger role for Utah State. In his, he got one start as a freshman, didn't play a whole lot, but in 21 as a sophomore, he played in 13 games for Utah State, 4 receptions for 21 yards. And then last year we saw a lot more of him. He started 11 of the 12 games, 11 receptions for 129 yards and a sweet touchdown in Hawaii. And looking for more out of the one of the senior leaders for this offense in tight end Josh Sterzer.
Yeah, definitely. He mentioned 2021. He's primarily a backup, so played, didn't get tons of snaps, but moving into a starting role, he about tripled his snap count in 2022. Didn't get a whole lot of targets. There's a lot of murmurs about tight ends not maybe being used as much as we like, but was productive enough. And being a tight end, he got involved in the blocking a lot. So there's two aspects to a tight end. So even if he's not racking up receptions, it's not like he wasn't contributing. But Blake Anderson's fully aware of all those murmurs about throwing to the tight end, and I think we're going to be seeing more targets to tight ends. Maybe some of those go to Brock Lane, but Sterzer's going to be the starter. So he's likely going to be getting a lot of those targets being used in more than just a glorified fullback role. So really we've seen him increase his snap count. Snap count's probably not going to go up this season, but production and impact should go up.
Right, and one of the things I like about Josh Sterzer, and he actually, on my list, I had him at number 15. So very close to where our consensus was, or at least where our standings pulled and revealed for our ballots. But I really like Sterzer just in his versatility and how he helps the offense in a couple of different ways. And again, this has been kind of an ongoing theme for a lot of the guys that we've talked about in the I guess we'd call the back half of our top 25. A lot of these are guys who have been in the system, growing, becoming more versatile, becoming larger playmakers, and are poised to take another step this year. And as we're getting closer to our top 15, top 10, Sterzer's in that group where it's not just somebody who's about to emerge. He was starting to emerge last year, and he's been a pretty steady contributor for the last 2 seasons, but he's really in a position to be a regular contributor, and would love to see him used in the offense, in the passing game a lot more, because he's shown that he can do it. He's got the right frame, he's got the right body, and he could be another weapon and cause defenses to second-guess what's happening on the field with the offense if he's on the line.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of different kind of contributors, as far as guys who need to step up. You kind of outlined them, where there's the guys who haven't played a ton. Guys on our list, Brock Lane, Wyatt Bull, Xavier Steele, they haven't gotten tons of snaps, but they're about to get more snaps. Then there's guys like, Cole Motes, Pokesi Vakauta. They're guys who have played, but they need to not only, just inherit a starting role like they might be, they need to step up in addition to taking that starting role. Like Josh Sterzer, he's the starter, very likely. But he needs to step up. This team needs people to step up, both newcomers and guys who have already had somewhat established roles. And so Sterzer can't just be like he was last year and just maybe get a few more targets. He needs to improve. I think he's certainly been working on that, so we'll see what the fruits of his labors this offseason are, in the upcoming weeks.
Right, and take the opportunity to be a senior leader, be a senior voice on what's taking place, not just on the offense, but for the team as a whole. Now, this is a guy that has great opportunity. Granted, it'll kind of fall on what the offensive coordinator, a.k.a. head coach Blake Anderson, decides how he decides to utilize the tight end. And that's a really big question mark this year. And it's always been a bit of a – we're hearing one thing, but we see something else out of the offense from Blake Anderson. So how much of that was just Anthony Tucker? How much of it was just availability of talent. This year, there's a lot of depth at the tight end position. So are we going to see it fully utilized? Will it be unlocked to its full potential? We still don't know, but there is certainly an expectation that Josh Sterzer could be in a position to really take advantage of that with his experience and his abilities, with being around and being available and being effective.
Yeah, as the incumbent, Sterzer has the opportunity to take full advantage. He's starting at the top, and then, world's his oyster at that point as far as what he can do. Make the offense target you more by being valuable. When you catch the ball, do something with it. Be a red zone target. These are all improvements and things that Sterzer can work on and utilize. And you mentioned Blake Anderson. He said he wants to spread the ball around more. I know he's talked the talk and not always walked the walk, but obviously Anthony Tucker was in some cases calling the plays there. So maybe things will change with Blake, being on the mic again.
Right. And look, Sterzer is in a position, or has been in a position, where he has gotten snaps because other guys who probably would have been ahead of him were hurt. But he's got a lot of guys behind him now that are going to be pushing for time and production and opportunity, because we've already talked about Brock Lane on our list, but there's also Parker Buchanan, who did some things last year, and he's growing and improving to that position. We saw Will Money make some great plays in the spring.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about, he's been brought up several times by quarterbacks, coordinators, so yeah.
There's real depth here at the tight end position, and that should push Sterzer with knowing that there's a lot of guys right behind me that are hungry and talented and available, so take advantage of the opportunity when given.
Yeah, so he's had a lot of experience, a lot of time to grow, and I think this year could be a breakout season. If there was ever going to be a breakout season for Josh Sterzer, this will be it. And he's got 2 more years to, be a good tight end here, where Utah State, there have been several really good tight ends over the last 5-6 years.
Absolutely. So he wears number 83. Again, 6'3", 240 pounds, and he's number 16 on our list of top 25 Aggies for 2023.